Welcome back. Let's, as a traditional way, let's start with a beer. Mexican lager by a brewery called Nokian Pani, which literally translates to Nokia Brewery. And it's actually the same city where the company Nokia, who used to make cell phones, well, does still as a brand, but so Nokia cell phones, it comes from the same town. And also a company called Nokian Tires, which makes tires, car tires, etc. Anywho, long story short, nothing special, very pale, as you can see. Very light, run-of-the-mill lager. Damn, ooh. It does hit the spot. I'm a little bit thirsty. Sun is shining outside, and this was ensi purasu, which is Finnish, which literally translates to first bite. So first beer of the day. Just a brewery update. I haven't brewed in 2.5 or 3 years or whatnot. Multiple reasons. At some point I kind of started to feel that brewing was a little bit of more of a chore than a hobby. And also back in the day there, I had the grandfather, I think the version 2. And I think I had fine-tuned my process as high as it can get with that system. And it seems that by nature, I'm a person who likes to develop the processes and the equipment, etc. And because that, at least in my mind, it had peaked. I didn't find any more kind of things to improve and things blah blah. So I was already on decline with the hobby. Then one of the family members got very seriously ill, and that was kind of a huge hit to the family. Luckily, at the end, bounced back and recovered, but it had a big toll, and obviously hobbies and whatnot everything was in pending mode. And then 2.5 years ago, the wife took off as well. So I'm divorced nowadays. And obviously that again kind of needed to revamp the whole life. I have 3 kids who are with me majority of the time. So that being there as well, and kind of building new processes to run the household on my own, and financial pressure of buying my ex-wife out of the house and trying to keep the house for my kids. Financially quite tolling, but hey ho, after 2.5 years of that shite, I'm still here. House is still under my name, so all good in that sense. And yeah, so a lot of happening, and didn't really kind of find room for any like personal time, my own hobbies, yada. So it kind of everything went into pending. So, but now I kind of decided to pull my head out of my arse and start a little bit focusing to myself as well, going back to the things I used to enjoy. So, fadam, brewery, Apex Brew House is brewing again. I was a little bit concerned that how will my grandfather actually kind of bounce back from this 3 years of sitting in my garage. Is there like what's working, what is not working? Are the gaskets like dried off and whatnot? What do I need to do to get that running? The first thing obviously with the grandfather are the bottom plate and the top plate and these fucking silicone seals. I freaking hate those so much. And I remember that I had quite recently purchased a new set of gaskets before I started the brewing hiatus. And, you know, surprise, surprise, the gaskets were stretched out and I would need to get a new pair again. At some point, I did notice while I was in this pending mode from the brewing that there is this upgrade that you can actually get. Bottom and top plates which doesn't require the gaskets. And I was like, okay, let's get those, get rid of the gaskets. I browsed the local homebrew shops. No, they didn't have it. I checked even Sweden. No, they didn't have it. And then I started to kind of wonder that, you know, how much else there is that I need to replace on the Grainfather, and I just started scrolling new brewery systems. And one Friday evening, when I was in a correct state of mind, I just thought that, fuck it, I'm just going to get a new brewing system. Maybe that will kind of get me kind of wheel spinning again. Something new. Again, I can start developing my own processes with the new brewing system. And I also noticed that, geez, actually the brewing system has gone forward from that Grainfather version 2 or whatnot I had previously. So I didn't browse that much of different options. I just like, okay, Brewchilla 4.1, 35 liter or whatnot. So I got that. Couple of accessories. I got the false bottom, whatever, heat exchanger, blah, blah, blah. This plate under the false bottom that will force the liquid to go to the sides and then down into the pump, because it's the bottom of the Brewchilla is concaved, like, and in the middle of the bottom there's the hole for the pump. So obviously all the liquid going down the mash tun will naturally seek the path of least resistance and go into the pump hole, which is on the very bottom of the bottom. So, all right. So the plate will do that it cannot actually go straight into the pump hole, but needs to be going around. And obviously that's where the benefit comes, because the heating elements are, well, they are like the onion rings, like under the bottom. So all of the wort will get exposed to the heating elements. And at least I think that's what Kekland had in mind. So that is one upgrade I took to it immediately. Obviously now I haven't brewed without it ever, so don't know how much that makes a difference, but I'm pretty sure it does make some sort of a difference. So it's a Saturday, 4:30 p.m. I'm in a stage where I have washed all the equipment, mashed my beer, and also sparged. The smash actually went really well, I think. There's a little bit of video of that. Then what? Yeah, the sparging, not sure. It was a little bit of a, not a stuck sparge, but the grain bed was not very accepting of the sparging water. I was trying to peek under the mash tun while sparging, that, you know, where does the liquid actually exit the mash tun. I had a little bit of a feeling that it's going down from the sides. So don't know about the pre-boil gravity yet. And also I noticed that I'm lacking like 1.5 liters of pre-boil volume. I think it was now 24 liters and it should be 26.68 or something. So I will just add tap water to get the pre-pour volume. And then into the interesting point, and this is going to be a little bit repeated on the video because I have been videoing throughout the day and I'm probably echoing the same stuff, which is boring for you guys, sorry for that. But the thing is that like 3 years ago or something, I stopped brewing. About 6 months after that, which is like 2.5 years ago or something, I tried to kind of restart things, but just noticed that I don't have the mental energy to start thinking about this. I felt that I don't have time because I was running a one-man show, one-man financial show in the house with 3 kids, etc. So I just felt that it's just unnecessary thing on top of everything. However, while trying to restart things, I ordered, I think, 3 all-grain kits from Sweden, Swedish homebrew shop, humle.se. And I think that's not, it doesn't exist anymore, but it's part of some other company. Anywho, so I ordered those kits, but never brewed them. So I have now one NEIPA kit and American Red Ale. And obviously those were not cheap. So I decided that heck, let's do them. But the only thing is that obviously the grains, for example, they came as pre-milled, the milled grains. I have the kind of understanding that the grained mills are good for, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months max, and then they will, something will happen to them. That's not a fact. That's just my assumption. And obviously there's a hops, etc., and the yeast. So not ideal. The yeast has expired. Majority of the hops are expired. Not all of them has been stored properly. They has been just sitting in my storage. For the NEIPA, actually, I remember that I took the hops and they are in my fridge in the garage. So at least that is what has happened. But yeah, but still, I'm going to brew this. And there's the American Red Ale, which I have been brewing today. So it's going to be interesting to see. First of all, I'm going to take the first measurement soon, which is going to be the pre-boil gravity. That is it even like near what it should be, or is it just? But I thought like that if I'm lucky, I'm going to have a decent beer. It might not be what it should have been, but it could be still a decent beer. Best case scenario. Worst case scenario, I'm not going to get much of efficiency out of the malts. It's not going to work at all. The hops are bland and not doing what they should be doing. And obviously the yeast that came with the package as well, that had expired a year and a half ago or something. So a lot of question marks in the air. However, obviously this is not my first rodeo. So I have done, I don't know how many brews back in the day, a lot. So I know for a fact that the yeast is not completely dead. It might not have the cell count anymore that it would have had within the expiry time or expiry window. So I did a yeast starter. 1.5 liters of water, 150 grams of spray malt, boom shakalak, had it on a stir plate for 24 hours, then 24 hours without the stir plate. And then now it's been cold crashing since yesterday evening. And actually, here it is. Not the full starter, but the beer that it had made. So let's have a try. How funky is this? Quite neutral smell. Bit of a, well, I'm not sure. Is there a little bit of a sour thing going on here? I'm not sure. But there's no obvious kind of, there's nothing obvious. The fermentation in the, what the hell you call that? Something Meyer flask. that everything looked normal. So it started foaming up, etc. The top of the flask started sweating out. So it definitely fermented. Nothing too much funky going on there. Let's be brave and try to prove with that. Shit. A bit of a... I do have a fresh packet of USO5 there as well, because I ordered one package of USO5 with the Brewzilla, just to be on the safe side. There's a little bit of a sour twist at the end, but it's not funky. The problem is that I don't have any kind of memory that how the yeast starters used to taste. Yeah, we are going to prove with that. Let's see. Let's bite the bullet and see what kind of disaster we have after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever. And obviously beer, it's a low pH beverage. It's not far from the actual stuff, so let's call it good. But anyways, next step, make sure that I have the correct pre-boil volume, get it boiling, and while it's boiling I will start scrubbing my fermenter. And actually, while I was trying to restart my brewery the last time, I ordered also a new fermenter, SS Brewtech, the Brew Bucket. Wanted to go all stainless, and I think I have used it twice. So let's see, I will start scrubbing that out. Hopefully nothing funky with that. There's also one big silicone seal which is on the lid, and I'm freaking hoping that that's not going to cause me gray hairs. I just fucking hate these gaskets and yeah. All right, let's see. Enough of you watching me rant here. Good to be back, and I think this time this is going to be permanent mode of operation. And I will be trying to put out videos more frequently. And let's see, I'll take some video also from the boil stage. and so forth. But that's it. Nice to be back, BrewTubers. Don't be a stranger. Comment down below. Like the video your way in and remember to subscribe. All good. Bye. Okay, let's do this. Exciting day. Hey there. Bada bada boom. Here it is. Brew Chill 4.1, 35 liters. Brand new. Came a couple of days ago. I have 15 liters of water warming up to 55 degrees or so. Going to pitch in some cleaner, do an initial clean, and then we are off to the actual brew day. So, well, this is something I was supposed to do yesterday, but it was a long day at work, so it's Saturday today. All right, let's get rolling. Cheers. This whole place is a freaking mess. I think while I'm mashing, I will try to sort this place out a little bit. This has been neglected, well, due to being busy with other things. So I have shit soaking here. I will scrub those and rinse them with a hose. Semi-annoying that as the road goes there are people walking by and they are looking me like they have never seen a fat guy with the brewing system. But I want to be on that doorway because of the steam, so okie dokie, see you soon. Here is my recipe. 3 kilos of pale malt, 1 kilo of Munich, 1 kilo of Vienna, 250 Cara Aroma, 250 Cara Red, and 250 grams of rice hulls. It's going to be around half a bag rice hulls, just to be certain, because this looks to be quite finely milled. But anywho, here are the malts. That must be the red. The hops, Chinook, Magnum for bitterness, and Citra as well. Everything here has expired a million years ago. Let's see, for example, these. No, that hasn't. 27. Jeez, actually not that bad. But they haven't been stored in cold. This is best before 24. So everything what I'm doing is like 2 years old here. It is what it is. But the thing is that obviously this kit wasn't actually anything cheap. I don't want to throw it away. Never brewed with this system, so I think this is a perfect kind of a first trial batch. While it's not probably going to be a beer that it was supposed to be, but I'm relatively sure it's going to be a drinkable beer. But let's see, this is an experiment. And also the yeast that I'm using, it expired a little bit over 1 year ago, but I made a starter. It looked good. It's now cold crushing in my fridge. So soon we will taste the starter and see if it's drinkable or if there's anything off. Let's see, actually interesting experiment. Smashing ongoing. While I was mixing in the grains, it kind of felt that it's a really thick mash, but it's rolling actually quite nicely at the moment. I'm a little bit limiting the flow. The wort has cleared up nicely. First 5 minutes or so it was horrible mud. But it's clearly the malt bed is now working correctly and filtering stuff, and I think the rice hulls saved me a lot of headache, I'm pretty sure. And actually, question for those who has Brewzilla, should I be limiting with the valve or should I be limiting with the pump adjustment via the app? Because I can throttle back and forth the pump with the app. But now the pump is 100% and I'm limiting with this one. Don't know. Comment down below if you have a view on that. Also, should I be using the lid at this point when I'm circulating? Because I'm not now sure how I did it with the Grainfather. But especially now, this being my first brewing session in 2.5, almost 3 years, I want to be in control and sitting here and seeing how actually this goes. So no lead, but should I? Yeah. Smashing went fine, I think. Sparging ongoing. No, it's relatively slow, but not a stock mash. So let's see. So far, so good, given the facts that I haven't brewed for gazillion years. Well, gazillion. 2.5, 3 years. All good. The Brewzilla working fine. I'm super happy. Especially what I'll talk about that later. What I like the most. Yeah. After sparging, I'm going to have a run to the grocery stores, get a few beers, and crack a cold one when I get to the boil stage. Stay tuned.